Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Amy and this is another episode in the midlife crisis series. So if that sounds interesting, stay tuned. All right, you guys. Oh, my screen was kind of bouncing there. So this is, I don't know how I'm gonna name these. So I don't know if I'll be like part 2 of the midlife crisis series, but what did I do? I spent over $10,000 on paper, you guys, to really go gung-ho in my junk for goats resale shop on Etsy. So this is part 2 of showing you what I spent all that money on, and hopefully you'll enjoy the ride. For one, if you're a crafter or if you like antique hauls, you know, maybe this will be fun for you just to see the stuff that I found. And for those of you that are like, what did she do? Maybe it'll be interesting for you in that respect. Or if you're just kind of thinking about starting an Etsy shop of your own, maybe you'll get some ideas from this. But first thing I want to do is, and let me go and let me make sure that I tell you the right name of the shop. I have got the, I also support creators on Etsy, and I placed an order of my own. Actually, I've placed 3 orders. I've bought 2 journals, and then I bought what I'm going to show you today. And the 2 journals, I'm going to do flip through videos, so those will be coming once I get my act together. But let me go and find the name of the shop, and I will link to the shop down in the description below, so check that out. But this was from the Sweet Shop Scraps is the name of her store. Now, I opened the package, but I didn't unwrap anything because I wanted to unwrap it with you. So, came in a package like this. Came very quickly, although, so while I was on vacation, I had my mail stopped, and I got a notice from the post office that this package was actually delivered. And I'm like, what are you doing? Because they literally delivered stuff almost every single day, packages, even though I had put a stop on that. And so when we got home, we got all these packages, and this one was missing. And I was like, what happened to it? And on my Ring camera, I could see the guy come that particular day, but he never came up to the post or to my mailbox. And so I waited. The mail was supposed to restart on Saturday because I knew we'd be home. But I waited till after the mail came on Monday, still no package. So I filed a claim, and then lo and behold, it showed up later that day with all the rest of the things they held. So I guess they have a different delivery person deliver that instead of the regular mailman. So luckily, I was like, oh, because, you know, not everything that you get on Etsy you can just reorder if it doesn't come through. But luckily this came through. So we've got this little envelope here, which is super cute. So she makes paper clips, and I have this paper, but then she's put some stamps and some pattern tissue paper on there to make this cool little paper clip. And I think everything in here was as a freebie thank you. I don't think any of these things are things I ordered. So we've got the envelope for one with decorated, and then we've got a rook card and a Missouri card, since I'm from Missouri, although it would have worked for Montana also. And then I think this is a printable, but I love that flower. And then maybe from it's plain on the back, so I don't know if this is a printable also. She does sell printables in her shop, in case you're interested in that. But you guys, it's birds and flowers. I love it. So pretty. And then, of course, my receipt, and then a thank you. So her name is Carolyn. Oh, and her business card. So let's hold this up. But I will link to this below. So cute card, way cuter than, like, just a professional card. The cards I use are the kind I print on my printer downstairs. So thank you for those freebies. Let me get these put back so I don't lose them. It's like a little mini kit right there. All right, so then everything else is in this file folder. And I love, so I've bought from her one other time, no, two other times, because I bought something, and in her freebie thing that she sent, there was a book plate, a flower book plate, and I'm like, where'd you get those book plates? Well, it was a book she had for sale, so then I turned around and bought the book. But she's she uses this really cool, like, vintage, like, ribbon. Like, where do you get this? Like, if I wanted to find vintage ribbon of my own, how do I find it? Because that is super cute. So of course you have to keep this and reuse it. And then, like I said, she wraps her stuff in tissue paper. So she goes to a lot of effort to make things look really nice. I tend to stick my stuff in the plastic, you know, cellophane bags and go. But this is really nice because you can certainly reuse this way better than a cellophane bag. So I don't want to, it's like I don't want to rip the paper where I don't have to. And heck, because I stupidly separated my pattern tissue paper from their packaging, I should just use it this way too. Okay, actually I've got the top open, so let's just see if I can slide it out. Oh, and she uses the cellophane too, so she's just she wraps this well. Okay, so this, let me look at what I've got. Okay, so this includes multiple items that I ordered in this one package. All right, so the first thing that I notice are the specimen cards or coin holders. Wait. No, I'm wrong. Those are not in this. Okay, this is a different, hold on. This is a 6 for $6 paper supply. Junk Journal Stash Builder. Scrapbook Embellishment Sampler Pack. Okay, so I got 4 beautiful flower cards. I love flowers. People always find stuff and I'm like, I wish I could find that. All right, and then we've got, what would this size have been for? Does it say? Let me go to the item description. She has great reviews for her shop. Okay, she does have mini CD envelopes. So it looks like there were 5 of those. Then we've got mini doilies, several of these in the brown and the white. Yeah, there's multiple pages of each of those. And then, oh yeah, see, these are from the books I love. So 5 pages of those. It just says floral book pages. And then there's five time cards, which are plain on the back, which is nice. Then you can write on them more easily. Well, you can write on the front too. So those are great. And, oh yeah, so I tried to get a book like this when I was in Tennessee, but it didn't have a price on it, so they wouldn't sell it to me. And we kept going back in that shop that same week, and then it never did get priced, but it had pages like this. So she calls these journal ledger pages. So I love that. So that was a lot of great items in this 6 for $6 pack. She also has color themed packs, which were really cute. I don't know that I ordered any of those though, because there was one that I think the one that I liked the most was like a Valentine theme, which, you know, we're not close to Valentine's Day at the moment, so that's I think why I didn't get it. All right, let's do this one next. I just love this stuff, guys. And I can never find things like this in antique stores. It's so delicate. I guess I just need to go look, because it's just a super thin, I don't know, it's more the texture too, because it's so, like, a lot of the, like, you can get ribbon at anywhere, but it's kind of stiff, and hers just never are. So I don't know what that means, but except that I like it. All right, let me go back so we can figure out what this one is. All right, this one may be, yeah, this one is a 10 paper napkin grab bag. Wait, let me make sure. Hold on. I think I got a couple napkin things. So I guess we'll find out when I see how many are in here, because one was a 10 paper napkin grab bag, and the other was a 5 paper tissues. So 1 5 and 1 10. I like the idea of the grab bag because you don't know exactly what you're gonna get. But this one is 1 2 3 4 5 6. Wait. Okay, this is the 10 pack. This would be great for decoupaging on book paper, right? You can cut out all these little flowers. And there's tons you can get out of this one napkin. I mean, so far my collection has been mostly Dollar Tree napkins, so I love finding different, and I really prefer when they don't have the dark backgrounds, because then you could just take one whole panel and put it on a book and come out pretty well. But when you have, there aren't any examples in here of this. Oh, like this will be harder to use. That was not from her, that was from my, and I'm gonna show you sooner. I can't talk anymore, you guys. It's upcoming. Oh, strawberries, love it. And I don't know if these are vintage or not, or if they're just, I mean, they're pretty, so who cares? So I think that was a pretty good grab bag of napkins. You got 5 on the, you know, smaller ones, and then you got 5 of the larger ones. So that was a good deal. All right, and then let's do this one next. Oh, and it's got a little wait. Oh, several of them. Okay, so the doily was probably stuck under here because I see that on one of the other ones. So yeah, I'm impressed with her packaging, definitely. Will it make me step up my game? Probably not, because here in the beginning, I probably won't feel like I can spend extra money on packaging when I need to be spending it on product. But it will help me, think of ideas. Okay, so these are not napkins like I was thinking, which they didn't say napkins, I just read napkins, but they literally are paper tissues. So the Kleenex, you guys, they're so pretty. Now this is something I wouldn't have thought of. You know, when you get your little package of Kleenex, that's like a perfect product to do this with, and a great size. So this was a set of 5. That's really pretty. Yeah, so so this one will be harder for me to work with just because of the dark background, and I'm not all that creative yet, but this is what they look like. It's still really pretty, really, really pretty. So I'll probably end up doing it like I did some of the others, where I have the whole thing, but it comes in kind of at an angle on the paper. But yeah, I mean, these are just like napkins, just the small size. So there's another thing for me to look for when I'm at the Dollar Tree. Although the ones at the Dollar Tree are probably pretty boring. All right, and I should be telling you like what the prices are. So this little set was $3. The bigger napkin set was $4.75, and then the 6 for $6 was $6. And then we have this. See, this I think was what she did to me. Like, she put one of these on my first order, and then I was like, I have to have that book. And so then I bought the book. That's great marketing. I put things in there like I should. Like, for me, although she has digitals too, but for me, I could probably like print out my digitals and put those in. And then people will be like, oh, where'd that cool digital come from? And I'm gonna be like, oh, my shop. All right, this is a book that I paid $7 for. So how you guys doing? I haven't talked to you guys in like forever about like personal stuff, it seems like. All right, so here's the book. And like, I don't ever see this book anywhere in the wild. Great for fussy cutting or using the whole page. I'll talk personal after I finish opening her stuff. All right, and then we have this little package. Oh yeah, these are like retro vintage paper clips, plastic clips. So I got them in green and red, which will just look great if you want to clip something into a journal. They're just, I don't know if they still make these. They feel very 70s and 80s vibe to me, but I've seen these before, like on other creators' videos when they're going through showing their journal flip throughs, so I think these will be a nice addition. And those were hold on, I can't tell if they were $2.50 each or $1.25 each. They were $2.50 each, and I got 25 in each package. And then last, wait, no, not last. I have these. These are what I was mentioning before, the specimen coin holder things. I think these she might be sold out of at the moment, but maybe not. So it's 8 specimen cards / coin holders. It's like it's just tissue paper. It should not be having that kind of trouble. So here you go. So this would be great since I collect or have tons of insect books. You know, I can fussy cut something out and put it in the center of this and make my own specimen. And those were $2. All right, now last. So here on this one, we got a doily and another one of the flower book pages. You can get me with flower book pages all day long, you guys. I love these so much, which is why I bought the book after she did that. All right, so this is another book. This book was $8. Now, some of these books you can get cheaper other places, but I'm going to tell you, I would always rather support small businesses than not, especially since I'm trying to be a small business. So we've got Wildflowers of North America. Yes, pocket guide. I reuse these bags, so I don't want to rip it willy-nilly. But yeah, so definitely if you like this kind of stuff, check her out. I really did think her color themed kits were cute. I just didn't have a need for that at this point in time. Okay. Almost there. How long does it take to get a package open? Okay. If I could make a living off of paper flowers, man, I would be set. So thank you, Carolyn. I love everything that I got and all of your little freebies that you put in there. So everybody be sure to go check her channel out. Her channel. I don't know if you have a channel, Carolyn, but I meant to say your Etsy shop, which I will have linked below. All right, now on with the rest of the stuff I want to haul. I've got to watch my time. It's Saturday in my world. So I know I'm going over to Mom's at 4:15. So how's my mom been doing? So she's got she's on her third caregiver, and who is a nursing student. So hopefully we'll have some good ideas. And they've been playing Old Maid and putting together puzzles and stuff. But the last couple of visits, my mom is hid for the first like hour and a half of the visit. And then she comes out and is fine. So maybe she's forgotten by that point why she was nervous. But I think that's just the way it's going to be. And I guess that'll be a good indicator when she starts being nervous of Jason and I when we go over, as if she hides for a while. She's not doing that yet, so that's good. But yeah, so she's, the caregiver comes 3 times a week. I don't know if Dad's braved going out yet. That is kind of the goal, is that he can kind of get away during those times. But I think it makes him a little nervous that my mom is still a little nervous. So yeah, so that's kind of where that's at. All right, we stopped at a flea market, which I loved, but you guys, flea markets very rarely, it's kind of confusing. This was an indoor flea market, and they have carts at the front door because it's like used to be a grocery store probably, or you know, a place like that. And so we get our cart, and we're used to antique malls where you just kind of walk around and you pay for everything at the end. No, this one you have to find the person who's manning all of the booths in their area and pay them. And some of them take credit cards, some of them only take cash, and we didn't have hardly any cash. They did have an ATM in the store, but it was not working. So we were working on very limited budget, but luckily one of the places that I got a bunch of stuff did take a credit card. But anyway, this was $1, and it's one of those plasticky, only a table runner style. So I got this to use to make my coffee dyed paper. So I would dip my paper in the coffee first, and then set it out, put this on top of it, and then spray it, and then it would get, you know, darker images where this is. Or some people literally just put their paper down, put this on top of the paper, and then pour their coffee over it. Now, some people that I've seen that do that have like a big table outside that they do it, you know, and so they don't have to worry about staining and stuff. I will have to worry about staining, so I bought some plastic trays from the Dollar Tree to use this with, but I got 2. I should have just bought all of them that she had, since they were $1 and she had maybe 8, but realistically I don't have the space to do all of those at the same time, so that's why I didn't. Okay, let me get these folded. See, I haven't figured out yet how I'm going to get the creases out, if an iron will do that, you know, like if I have a cloth in between so it doesn't melt. But I was super excited to find these because I had to get the ones I have now off of eBay. All right, then in what turned out to be my favorite antique store of all time, because I did my first deal there, I found this one, and this was not the exciting part of this particular trip, but I found this. It wasn't priced, and so I went up to the lady, and this store had booths, I think, but either I was looking at all of her stuff, the owner's stuff, or she just has unilateral ability to price things that aren't priced, because some places won't sell it to you if it's not priced. But so this may have been one of hers, but I was like, well, how much do you want for this? And it's a farm diary. I wanted it for the paper. It's vintage paper. Does it have a, it doesn't have a date on it, but the telephone's only 5 digits long. So I just always am looking for, you know, old paper. And so she's like $1. I was like, sold. So then I found on a table, she had, well, I'm like ruining this prize because I have the whole box. She had this whole box of checks. And you guys, I started counting these and I don't know where my thing is that I counted them. So I'm probably gonna have to start over. But I was like, how much are the, cause it's canceled checks. They're all different. Like here's an example. So this one's from 1952, but there's ones that are older. And I was like, well, how much are these? And she's like $1 a piece. And I was like, $1 a piece. Okay, maybe I can get 20. Like, let me see if I can find one of the ones that, like, there are older. Is this an older one? No. There are, they're just all different kinds in here, okay? Some of these are from the early 1900s. Some, they're just all different, right? So some of them are from like the 80s. Like there's a small little set in here of ones that are like you and I would remember, but there's not very many. So I was like, okay, you know, and so then I decided I was gonna walk around because this was upstairs and there was still a downstairs that I hadn't looked at. So I go downstairs looking at stuff, and in my mind I'm thinking, I wonder if she would do a deal on the whole box. And because you guys you've heard me before, I'm always looking for this kind of stuff. And so in my mind I'm thinking of a price, like I'm gonna ask her if she's ever thought of selling the whole box, would she do it? And then I had a price in mind. But as somebody I work with has told me, or has said multiple times, you don't want to negotiate with yourself. You always want the seller to speak first on a price. And so I had a price in mind, and so I went upstairs, and after I was looking at everything else, and I was like, okay, have you ever thought about selling the whole box and what you would charge for that? And she stood there and she's like, yeah, I've thought about that before. She's like, I'd probably sell it for 50 bucks. And I was like, sold. So I invested and got the whole box for 50 bucks. And yeah, so this will be fun. I need to organize it still. I still want to see if I can find one of the super old ones. Well, this one's from 45, but they're all, so she apparently bought out a different antique store, and this was part of what was in that store. And so there's really no real organization that I can tell, even though it had these like divider things. I haven't figured that those were really okay. So here's some from 1916. So yeah, so I still need to kind of inventory this box. But this is kind of one of those things where I'm hoping that the price that I got for this makes up for some of the things I've overpaid for. So, so yeah, so I got that. That was like my favorite thing. And the first thing that I really got to deal with. Well, then after she showed me that, then she pulls out, like under the table, she pulls out all these binders. And these binders just have receipts in them, and I'll show them to you on a different video. But she's like, I'm like, oh, well, what would you sell these for? Because I would like all of these. And she's like, well, I could probably do $40 a binder. And I was like, okay, I'll take. So I took all of those. So it ended up being probably my most expensive one-stop visit to get all of those. But yeah, I was super excited. And that was the day that we should have already been home, but we had stayed overnight because we hadn't gotten far enough. So I feel lucky that I was able to kind of come across that. Oh, and someone just ordered from my Etsy shop. Thank you. Diane just ordered from my Etsy shop. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Just had a notice come up on my phone. All right, next, well, I showed you this earlier. Like I said, I don't know how to tell if napkins are vintage or not, but this reminds me of my grandmother because I used to have a dress that she made me when in the late 70s, made out of this. And when she died, I found Walmart had some dresses kind of like that. So I got dresses like that for my girls to wear to the funeral. But I got 2 of these. And this is, you know, the kind that it's a dark background, so it's not as easy to use with book page, but I'll probably kind of put it on the book page like this. So it's kind of, you know, and then the rest of the page will come down. And then more cards that I found. I found a lot of Coca-Cola cards in one of the stores shops we went into. And then we found this antique store in the middle, kind of in the middle of nowhere, Tennessee. I don't even know what the name of the town was, but we went in there and the guy was like, we're going out of business, so we'll make deals on just about everything. Although I don't think they made me a deal on this thing, but it was just a pack of really old kind of receipts and stuff. So I picked that up. But this is where I did one of my other deals, and I'll have that on a different video as well. But there was a basket full of old photographs, like boarded photographs, not cabinet cards. There might have been a couple cabinet cards in there, but it was mostly like the framed old photos, just a whole basket of them. And I was like, do you think the seller of this would do a deal since you guys are closing, and you know, to get these out? And sure enough, she did, and I paid, I think, $50 for that whole lot. Hi, let me take a brief moment out of our video to let you know that today's video is sponsored by Junk for Goats. Junk for Goats is my business where I sell and resell vintage, antique, and some modern ephemera for all of your junk journaling or crafting needs. I have shops on Etsy, Whatnot, and I list my digital items on my coffee shop. All of the links for those are below in the description, so please check that out. It's also important to note that 10% of all the proceeds from my sales are used to purchase goats from Compassion International. Those goats are provided to families across the world to help them meet their own families' needs in terms of their diet, but they can also take and sell the milk and the cheese that they produce from their goats to their friends and family nearby, helping to provide them with an income source that is valuable in the areas in which they live. So if you would like to craft with a difference, please check out the description below. And as always, thank you, and please enjoy the rest of the video. Thanks. As well. So I guess, you know, since I can never find the estate sales where people find this stuff for cheap, that's my version of that, I guess. And then I found this cute little stationery set. It does not have a year on it, so I don't know when it's from, but it's a really pretty, you know, box that we can reuse for stuff, and it had stickers. And, oh, and it had actually no, I think this just got put in here to keep it safe. A metal bookmark, which I think is Jason, so he's probably been looking for that. but it's got your stationery. It's not, you know, the old stationery like I've been looking for, but I like finding stationery kits. So it had that, and then it's got a drawer, which I did not look in, but I'm assuming is sheets of paper. Yeah, so more envelopes and more paper. So I thought that was cute. So it doesn't always have to be vintage or antique, because this probably isn't. Well, it might be vintage. It might be like from the 90s, but I haven't looked it up to see. And then I picked up some transfer paper. These are fun to put in kits. You can you know, cut the pattern out. Like, let me just, this one's already open. So if for some reason you've never seen like embroidery patterns, it looks like this. You can iron this on to the fabric and then do your stitching, but you can cut pieces of this up and put it in a journal, because we're looking for all different kinds of paper. So that's what these look like. Or you can, you know, just sell them as is. But I watch Hyper Stamper, and hers is a journal I recently bought that I need to haul on here. And she has vintage iron-on patterns that she likes to put in hers. All right, then I got 3 Women's Day magazines, and these are from the 40s, so probably no coupons like we're used to seeing, but we love looking in. I'll open one of these because we love looking at old magazines and the old advertisements. And of course, these women-centric ones are great for the advertisements because they're advertising all the things that women buy. Like Ivory Snow. I don't know when they stopped. Like, it wasn't Ivory Snow to begin with. Or maybe Ivory Snow is the laundry soap, not the soap. Ivory Snow. Well, it says your hands will tell you why. Oh, even her gossamer sheer nylons are so safe with Ivory Snow. Care every night. Ivory Snow, the only soap both ivory mild and granulated for efficiency. Fine for washables and for dishes. I'm guessing they don't still sell that, or a version of that. Oh, we've got oleo was already created by that point, or margarine as we know it today. It's unfortunate when these, you know, get like folded, but they're still cool. And I like all these black and white ones. And there's always a ton of ads in the back. What is that? Oh, it's like, what's that cheese that Bell? Bonnie Bell? That's ice cream. Well, the cheese that comes wrapped in the wax wrapper, that's what this looks like, only it's like big. Natural cheese. Mild, mellow, uniformly good natural cheese. Out of Wisconsin, as it should be. So all kinds of ads. And then some cute kind of images. So we love finding old magazines. I mean, wouldn't that be great in a journal, folded up in a pocket? So I love old magazines. So one of the antique stores that we went to, this guy was telling us that there was a shop in another town that is, I think they're a consignment store currently, but they're trying to morph into something different. And so they're trying to get rid of a lot of stuff. And he said one of the things they're trying to get rid of is these old magazines. And so I needed to try going there to see if I could get any deals. So that is on my list of places to go before I've run out of seed money, which is very soon, actually. All right. Then, oh, I already showed that. I don't know why we got this, but it's a cool tin, but they probably sell these at Five Below. But ice cream or popsicle stick shaped cards. I don't know. I don't know why we got that. And then, oh, some old, I love finding these old games. It's got some boo-boo tape on it. And these are great to put in pockets and stuff too. I don't know, it just takes me back. Now these I think are, well, I was gonna say I think these are older than me. Like from the 50s. It doesn't say. But my parents had a lot of their cards from that time period, so it really takes me back. That's part of the reason why I picked this out of anything I could try to sell, because of the nostalgia of it. I'm a very sentimental person. It's very hard for me to let things go. And I just love being able to rescue these things from people potentially throwing them away. I got some more, I say more because I've gotten these from this shop before, but some real unused labels for this soap. And I've tried looking this up, and yeah, it's liquid powder actually. I've tried scanning this and I can't find it on Google. And then some edu-cards from the Man from U.N.C.L.E. Some Robert Vaughn and David McCallum. Isn't that hilarious? So I had to pick those up. And then what is this? Okay, well, it's something from St. Louis. I don't guess I've opened this yet. Oh, maybe I did. And Bond Clothes, buy direct from the maker and save. Oh, it's just a little notepad. So maybe a salesman would take that around, or maybe that was like a freebie if you bought whatever they were selling. Okay, I gotta watch my time. Okay, I'm still doing okay. Although when we get home from my mom's tonight, we're gonna have a whole bed of stuff to clean up. And then some more bridge tally cards. I love bridge tally cards. I didn't even know it was a thing till like a couple months ago. But I love finding them. This one is, sometimes they're, okay, well this one is, a lot of times they would come with strings. I don't know if people would keep them around their wrists like dance cards, but yeah, these are great to go in little things. Like I love finding little paper like this that you can slip into a pocket. People can write on it, you know, in their journals. They're, you know, they're hidden little They're little hidden things. And here are some more. A couple different designs, but these did have the ribbons with it. And I found, okay, these did not all come in this pack. I had to buy multiple. I bought all the packs they had because it was actually a pretty good price. I don't remember what it was exactly, but I was finding in Tennessee, you could get like 9 milk tabs for $12. That seemed ridiculous. So this place had them, I don't know if it came out to like 50 cents a piece or something. And I've bought these from Temu. You can get replicas, but so most of them are milk, and there's all different. If there's collectors of these too, because there's so many different dairy companies out there that were producing things. But let me show you the different ones. So there was milk, and there was orangeade. So, and I think that's the only 2 kinds that this particular antique mall had. Yeah, so these would be great. You could glue around like one edge and it'd be a tuck spot that you could just tuck things in. Or, I mean, people can still write on the back of these little notes, because that's what junk journalers do. They use everything to write, you know, just a gratitude thought or something on the back of one of those. And then I told you guys I had found some vintage paper doilies that I thought were really pretty. I don't know if these had been used or if some have been removed from the package, but there were originally 32 in here, but it kind of looks like it may have been open, so I don't know if it still has 32. And then this bottom one originally had 36. But I like them better than the ones from the Dollar Tree, because the Dollar Trees are white. And if you can kind of compare, it's just subtle, but yeah, I love paper doilies. I mean, who would have thought? You know, who would have thought you could get as much love out of paper doilies as you do the real thing? Now, you guys know I love vintage cards, and one of you is planning to send me some in the mail, which I'm super excited about. I've decided you cannot have too many vintage cards, and these will go in journal kits. But there was somebody had this big bag of cards for half price. Her booth was half price or whatever. And so there's a lot of baby cards, which I really like. I like all vintage cards, but these baby ones are super cute. And I don't have to remove them from a scrapbook, which is nice. Oh, so there's some duplicates in here. So yes, that was, I thought, a good deal. I got some somewhere else too, but they were all get well cards, I think, which those can be kind of funny, actually. All right, then I have a bunch of these empty bags, but I think that's what the milk caps were in. So I got some more bingo cards. So before I forget, I said I was going to have this big drop and sale on Labor Day, but I can't afford to wait till that. So be sure to, if you want to know ahead of time when things are going to drop in my shops, be sure to sign up for my mailing list. And when you do that, you will get one of my digitals for free of these seed packets. So, and these seed packets are not available in my coffee shop where I have my other digitals. They're only available to the people that sign up for my mailing list. And somebody on my mailing list had a birthday in July. I think Tracy, I am going to be sending you a free digital for your birthday, so be watching for that. All right, so then I found some old labels for your mason jar can, so that's awesome. I can separate those. There were some used in here, but there were still a lot of them left, which I love finding stuff like that. And I think these were all Easter cards. And, well, it's birds, so that's why I picked that up. I think it was only $1. It doesn't say, but I think it was probably pretty cheap. And, oh, these were on the milk. These were like this for the milk caps. And then some more, oh yes, some more bridge tally cards, except, well, maybe not. I don't know. These are just like a thick card. So, and then a calculator back before there were calculators. So I love this kind of stuff, numbers. And I don't know if these are vintage or not, but I picked them up, some jelly labels. So they're stickers. And I don't know how many sheets. It says 40 labels, self-adhesive labels. I don't know if any of them are, if any of them are missing or not. But just kind of a vintagey touch. And then I picked up some of these. These were cigar box labels that were never used. And okay, these were different. These are stamps, Golden Mail Meditations Holiday. I've never seen anything like this before, but they're little stamps that for different themes, kind of. So I thought those were super cute. I was excited to find just different things than I usually find. You know, you guys know I get a lot of books and cards and stuff, so it's kind of neat to find some of these different things, but you gotta go to a lot of different stores to find them. So some old receipts from the 60s. And some more bridge tally cards. I got too many. I probably way overpaid on those, so that's why getting the box of checks for what I paid helps even everything out. All right, and then more, I guess I got 2 packages of those. And then, okay, this lady I have some Wrigley, I have some of these, and I bought them from this lady's booth for like packages of 30 or something. Well, now she has her packages of 30 of these for $30, and I just can't justify that. But this, which still had some of these in it, plus some of these, were like $5. So I'm like, well, heck yeah, I'll buy those. So I don't know, I think it was 8 of each. So you get this, and this has the coupon, like the stock profit sharing coupon on the back. But then at some point they must have kind of changed it up so that it wasn't on the gum wrapper, but it was maybe on these instead. So I haven't Googled these yet to see like dates. I don't think there's dates on here. But cash value, these are like the coupons that you might see, almost like grocery coupons, but there's like stock coupons too. So I got two sets of those. That was all she had, I think. More tally cards. All of these are, well, oh, okay, I was gonna say maybe they're just tags, but no, they are still tally cards. more tally cards. And this was just a set of cards. These remind me of Betsy Clark, but there was a time where a lot of Hallmark things had these bright colors. So I guess probably the 70s or early 80s. And I believe these are all the same card. At least the package originally said they were all the same. Well, of course they are the same. I could tell by the bottom. So those are cute. We're almost done. Found 2 big boxes of the vintage flashcards. These are from 1964. So they are matte on both sides. Unlike today, one side is glossy. So we have multiplication and division. So love finding that kind of stuff. Flashcards, who would have thought? And then a beautiful coloring book. I've said this before, these Dover coloring books are phenomenal. They always give you an example of what it could or should look like in the front and the back. And I keep finding them. I say they're phenomenal, but I keep finding unused ones. So maybe they weren't phenomenal. Or maybe they were more geared for adults and adults just didn't color back then. But I love finding these. And then I found an original Sears catalog. Now this one is from 1978, so it's vintage, but yet not old, but we've got some great fashion and just all the fun things that they used to use for stuff. So, and I think that this one was discounted. So that was super exciting. And that is it for this midlife crisis video. And I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you'll come back and see the other things that I've gotten to kind of stock up in my store. And please be sure to check my shops. All the links for my 3 shops are down in the description below. Check them out often. And remember, get on that mailing list if you're somebody who would like to know when things are going to drop. So instead of doing the big sale for Labor Day, I'm just going to do, when I drop something, it will be on sale for a certain period of time, and then after that it will go back to regular price. So just keep watching if you're into that kind of stuff, or if you want to use that as a way to support this channel. I appreciate it. And thank you so much for your time. I know it's valuable. Let me do a quick thank you to my members, because feels like it's been forever since I've thanked my members. And I owe you some digitals for this month's membership. So be watching my posts for that. Okay, I think I have to go here. Okay, we're almost there. All right, I'd like to thank Miss Mary, Jew Lily, KT, Favorites with Laura, Miss Darlene, Hey Everybody, and Miss Pam. Thank you so much for supporting this channel, and thank you to my subscribers. And if you just happened upon this channel and got it this far, thank you for watching. Thank you for your comments and your thumbs. All of that stuff helps YouTube know that maybe other people would like to watch this too. And I hope you're enjoying this midlife crisis series like I am, and we'll stay tuned for future episodes. And hopefully I'll find my nostalgic TV trivia cards here soon. But anyway, wherever you are, whenever you are, I hope you're having a great day. And until we meet again, take care of yourself.